Hey everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. So I'll bring you along this afternoon. I've had a couple requests for seeing the farm and the layout, the fields I'm working on. It's awful windy today. I'm not sure how it's going to do. If you're watching this, then I guess I uploaded it. If there's some major wind noise, I apologize. I do not have an external speaker with a wind doohickey on it, however you want to say it. But I thought I'd do a little intro. I'm just going to walk around and show you some of the fields that I have done, some of the fields that are yet to do, and I do have a couple that are still grown up to kind of give you a better perspective on what I've been working with. It's been tough. I know I've talked about it quite a few times in the videos, and I just thought I would give everybody a first-hand view of how everything has gone so far. So if I get long-winded, I apologize for that, the wind noise, and maybe out of breath. There's quite a bit of walking here. Thought about taking the golf cart, but if I just walk, the exercise will do me good. It's kind of overcast today. I was going to wait till a sunnier day, but they're talking about some 15 to 25 mile an hour winds the rest of the week, so thought I'd go ahead and do it, see what we can come up with. I'll bring you back here shortly. Okay, I thought I would start with this one first. This is the last one I was working on before it got too wet to do anything. I'm not sure how good the camera's picking it up, but kind of give you an idea of this is what all the fields look like here at the farm when I started. This one is populated more with gum trees and poplar. It's kind of a higher ground than the rest of it. There is a little stash of pine trees and cedar trees here. The deer like to hang out in there. But I started this one, like I said, it got too wet. I have some major drainage issues here on this little section of the property. I get a lot of water down. It's kind of a downhill from the neighbor's field. I did the best I could cutting a little trench with a loader. About buried it back here a couple of times. It had just gotten so wet. But this is just a little look of what I've been dealing with. I hope to get back on this one first as soon as the weather warms up and it dries out a little bit. Like I said, I'm just, you can see where I've started here, just piling stuff up. I'm going to make a perimeter brush pile on this field. Actually, due to the fact that this is on one of the property lines, just as kind of a separation, privacy, if you will. Okay, move on to the next one. Okay, this is a field that is directly adjacent to where I just was. I'll pan around there. I was standing right beside that cedar tree on the first clip. This was grown up. This didn't have as many trees in it. My mom and dad had horses and such back here within the last 8 or 10 years, and still had we still have a donkey and a Shetland pony, and they were fenced in this area, so they kept it eat down until it got out of hand. Just kind of was a spot to gather dump all for the farm for the last 20 years. A lot of it was my stuff from my younger days. Some of it was left over from my grandpa. But we were able to clear this one out. You can see the cedar trees here. I'm in the process of putting up a pole barn, if you will, at some point. That's probably several years down the road, but had to cut a few of these cedar trees down, and the weather just went south on us, and I didn't even get to push them down the hill. You see there in the white tarp, that's 24-foot rafters. The building I'm considering putting up is 24 by 75 by about 14 high. It was given to me, and me and a good friend of mine took it down piece by piece and brought it here to the farm. Just not sure when we're going to get that back up. Okay, move on to the next one. Okay, here's the next one. Again, this little field does also butt right up to the one I haven't cleared yet. This here is what we've always considered the L-shaped pasture, if you will. It's kind of got a L shape to it. This one has never been grown up. It's overgrown from the fence line out probably 10 or 15 feet, but I've always kept this one mowed, the lawnmower in the summertime and all. It's kind of the first one you see coming into the farm, so it's kind of nice. Grass grows, so I didn't really have to do any clearing here. You see I've got some trees to finish taking up here. Had some blow down in the windstorm, back a couple of months ago. Really considering putting pumpkins here. My wife is really intrigued about us doing a little pumpkin patch, possibly for the fall. So this is always drainage is pretty good on it. It's pretty level. It's right here accessible from the road, if you will, for the farm. So we might end up putting some pumpkins in here. Just thought I would show you this one. I stopped here for a minute. I'm not going to try to mess with the zoom. Probably mess up more of the video. This is the highest point of the farm. A lot of it is in floodplain. The big creek flows through the property. I'll show you that here in a little bit. I'm standing right kind of behind the barn, so you can see down pretty much the fields. Then there's a row of trees, and on the other side of the trees is the bottom land, and then you can see the high trees in the very background. That's roughly the property line, if you will. I'll show you that if I make it down that far. There's a good story on the barn here. I think I've mentioned it a little bit in previous videos. If I get that far today, I will show you that. I'm thinking I might end up making this a two-part, just so I don't bore everybody. Of course, there's the F gleaner, and like I said, this is we've all just this is the same field we just saw a while ago, just a little different area of it. I'm going to try to walk a little bit and hold the camera. I don't know how well that's going to work out, if it'll be completely shaky or not, but we'll try it just for this little bit. So we just had to clear some of this out. It wasn't too awful bad. The horses and ponies kept it. The grass eaten down. Of course, the weeds grew up, so wasn't that many big trees here. I wish so much that I had gotten video. I had thought about doing this when I started this endeavor, because the difference between then and now is unbelievable. I know through the camera you're not going to get the true perspective of everything, but it's been a long journey so far. A lot more to do, but I enjoy every minute of it. This is a little building here. Grandfather used to have chickens in here. I think at one point there was another building here beside of it that had pigs in, or penned in, I guess you will. My memories of my younger days, 7, 8 years old, I remember chickens in here. Still in pretty good shape, actually. A lot of memories here for me. I'm sure there are for the my aunts and uncles and my mom. We'll pan back around here to the upper side. Probably realized where I was standing earlier. These fields are not necessarily going to be in crop. It's just part of the clearing. Just a lot of it depends on how things go in the other fields that I've really been working on. So I guess I'm starting with the worst. Well, not the worst by far, but some of the worst starting out. We still have a lot to do here, but got a good start on it anyway. Okay, let's move on. Okay, move down the hill just a little bit from the last clip. This is the beginning, coming down from the barn down the, I've always heard it called the lane, as I think my grandfather and my mom and dad always called it, just to ride horses in here. So we're starting down in the lower part of the property, down in what's considered the creek bottom, if you will. See a pile of brush there. Again, I worked as long as I could till the weather got bad. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if the camera's picking it all up, but it's just a muddy, sloppy mess. Which some of it's because I didn't get to do any final grade on it, get the water going in the right places. I just, sometimes I put too much on my plate. I'm very bad for that. I'm happy doing this, but sometimes I take on too much and I'll jump around from one place to another. But it's pretty neat. Again, I wish I had got some of the video of it to begin with. Pan around here. This is the beginning of a pond dam that was built years ago. I'm going to get some more information on this. I've heard mixed stories from my dad and from my mom over the years. I've got an uncle that is very good with the history here at the farm, really cares a lot about it. when I asked him. I want to say that this was put in, that my grandfather had this put in the early 70s, late 60s, I believe. But you can see it's completely grown up. It's not a pond anymore. Not sure. It's really just a creek channel. I think we're probably going to end up just filling it in. There's a huge pipe under the dam. It's not like an overflow anymore. It's just like a culvert pipe, if you will. So we're getting ready to walk across the dam here now. I'll bring you back here shortly. Okay, thought I would do a clip here while I was walking by. This is, again, we have nicknames around here, have for years. This is what's considered a donkey pasture, mainly because he's been in this pasture for many years now. This is where we actually had the worst honey locust problems. It wasn't grown up, it was just overgrown. Again, they would, eat the good grass and leave the weeds and what. But probably out of the whole place, we had the worst luck with honey locusts here. There's still a lot of them growing on the edges of the field. While I'm here at this shot, I don't know if you can see, let me try to zoom in if I don't mess this up. If you can see that gate straight ahead in the frame there, that opens up into what we consider the front field, and I'll take you out there in a little bit, standing at the gate and pan back this way. This is one of the fields that when the time comes that I will do in corn, because it blends right over into the front field, which is my ace in the hole, if you will. But until the animals are not here any longer, they're going to get to enjoy the lavish grass here. My plans and the farming aspect will definitely come second to them. They've been here quite a while. I don't know, Mike can zoom in just a little bit more. I see them over there. Apologize for the sticks. You can see they're just on top of the hill. That's the Shetland pony and the Jack, as we call him. I'm not going to say exactly what some people say he is, but anyway. Alright, just thought I would get a little clip of that field while I was here. Okay, we just crossed over the pond dam. Pan back to that here, where I just was a minute ago. There's a little creek that runs down, divides what we consider the bottom land. We're on the far side of it. I have not made it over here to do much yet. This stays extremely wet. You can see the water standing there, and it definitely needs some attention with the drainage. But again, these are what the fields look like when I started. Just keep that in mind when I show you the other ones, how far I've come. I may end up making this into 2 parts. I'm not sure how long I'm getting with these clips here. So if this is, I may just end up doing the hillside, as we call it. I had referenced that in a video talking about farmable land. This is what we consider the hill. I'll show you that. And I may wait and do a second video on the rest of it, so we don't get so long and drawn out. Okay, I've started up on the hill, if you will. I've made some strategic paths through here. Just kind of came up here to see how bad things were with the loader back in the summer. Over here along the tree line, you can see kind of where I stopped. The original field went back another 40 feet, and it has grown out. This has probably amazed me the most after all the years of not being down here, seeing how much the forest had grown out into the field. But again, the wood line there, the property line goes back several hundred feet there, and that runs parallel with the whole property back up to the main road. And again, that's part of the unfarmable land, if you will. It's just in timber. I'll probably never do anything with that. Just a little picture. All right, I'll go on up the hill, and it gets really thick up there. Okay, now I've made it to the very top of the hill again, if you will. It's probably the second highest point here at the farm. Just a little lower in elevation than where we were up at the barn. I'm probably 3/4 of a mile back into the property. Again, this is what everything started out looking like. You can see the big cedar tree here in the frame and all the little gum trees that have grown up. From where I'm standing and that big cedar tree, it goes back another 75 to 100 feet that used to be field. I said my grandfather had cows here. They had the whole place, but that's been many, many years ago. Me and my dad did keep this bush hog, but I've stated all that before. Just fell by the wayside. Okay, we'll move on down towards the beginning of the bottomland. Well, I get another little clip. I'm right in the thick of it now. Haven't been down this way doing anything, clearing or mowing or anything. You can see all the saplings and whatnot. This at one time, right here in the frame, you can see just a little bit of a pathway. That was the thoroughfare my grandfather used to get to the back side of the property years ago. There's a gate down there for the cows. But it's just unreal how it's grown up. Again, keep in mind, this is what everything looked like when I started in January of 2020. Okay, we moved on down the hill. You can see in the background of this frame, the bottomland there. I'll explain a little bit about that here in just a second when we get down there. I think that'll be the last clip on this video. From that point forward, we'll be in stuff that's already been worked on and cleared. I still have a percentage of everything I've worked on to finalize, but it'll look a lot different than where we are right now. So thank you everybody for watching. Hope you consider subscribing. Thumbs up does help out the channel. Again, if anything that you want to see, request more of, less of, I say that all the time, just let me know. I believe I'll wrap this one up for now. Stay tuned for part 2.